What's up, boys? It's Lee. Something I'm shooting today is obviously the weekly long form, right? So what we touched on last week was building out the community for the boys 17 to 25 that are looking for more purpose and direction in their life. And something that I'm obviously really passionate about and a part of right now too. So look, step number 2, building the product. That's where I'm at. That's where my focus has been this week. Man, I said this comparison to a mate of mine on the phone today. It's like I am in Minecraft on day 1, week 1, right? I've opened up the map, freaking looks big. I don't know where's where, what's what. All I know is that I'm in the woods and I want to build a house and shit. That's pretty much Minecraft, right? So I've been thinking, what am I creating here, right? Now, I know what it is that I want to do. I know my target audience. I know the intended effect that I want to have, right? And if you don't, then watch that first video. That'll get you up to speed. One thing I don't know just yet is exactly at that point of intersection of, when people come in, they interact with the product, and then they come out with the intended effect. What am I providing at that point that is going to give them the value that they need to get on track in that shared way, right? So this is where I'm at, and I've got the whiteboard out because it's a bit of a concept, so it might be easier to draw rather than just explain. However, I'll do my best to make this clear and simple for you guys. So let's say from the process of creating something, right, which essentially is entrepreneurship, a little bit of a tongue twister, but here we go, is bringing something from your mind to life, right, to create something. I don't know what the Latin word for entrepreneurial means, but I assume it's got something to do with creating. So that process, how I've coined it, is taking a block of messy clay, right? Let's bring this a little bit closer. It's taking a block of messy clay and turning it to, let's say, a beautiful painted pot. Okay? I'm not an artist, but I hope you get what I mean. That process of transforming something from 0% to 100% completion, right? So right now, it's all in my mind, and eventually this is going to be a product that actually has the effect that I'm looking to take, right? That is successfully going to add value in the lives of these young boys, the lads, right? All of us. So this process can be seen as the product, right? And I'm going to switch to black so it stands out a little bit clearer. I think I'm running low on ink. All right, so let me just wipe this off. How do I get there? How do I get from a big clump of shitty clay full of sticks and all that jazz to a beautiful, crisp, well-proportioned, functioning clay pot? Painted, beautiful, holds water, beautiful. Now, what I've realized, right? So let's say right now, this is my product, and it's at 0%. Okay? My product is at 0% completion. Now, for me to get that to that pot, which is 100%, I don't focus on this, right? I don't try and move the product to 100% in the macro. What I need to do is break this down into some key parts, right? So as of right now, let's just focus on the clay. And let me just keep this nice and simple. All right, so right now we're just at a block of clay. And how are we going to get it to a pot? We break it down into its four most key pillars, right? And these are all currently blocks of fat clay. All right. Now, where I'm at is I've defined four most current pillars. So I am thinking, what are the key things that I want someone to come into contact and walk away with when engaging with my product, right? So first and foremost, I need to provide a community, because it is an online community, I need a effective community, right? So here we've got community. Okay, number one. Number two, we'll break all of these down in a second. So we've got community. Number two, we've got principles, right? What I mean by principles are a set of internal personal boundaries that you set for yourself and use in moments of inner turmoil or hardship, right? So these are things that you can use, let's say, when things are overwhelming and you know are reaching for security in some way, you've got something that a solid foundation that can ensure that your progress and just your life is maintained to a certain standard, right? This could be things, and I'll be breaking this down in another video, but this could be things such as, you know, when things get hard, I don't cope with substances or high dopamine distractions, right? Right. So this is principles. Everything is flipped by the looks of it. That's all right. Okay, so 1, 2, principles. Number 3, what we've got is a vision. So this is something that gets talked about a lot, but is something that is very hard to actually do. Now, having a clear vision on exactly it is that you want to achieve in key areas of your life is something that you can buy in on and help walk towards. That's gonna give you, you know, the motivation and clarity to understanding what it is that you're fighting for, right? It's giving you a why so strong that the how becomes manageable no matter what it is, right? So I'm just gonna set it out like this so I can make it clear. Number 4 is a set of internal frameworks and tools that you can use throughout that journey in obtaining your vision that is going to keep you on track, and frame it in a way that it's not only keeping you engaged with your journey, but will actively give you the energy that you need. So for when you're struggling, you can double down. You can double down and really, really hunt down, you know, it's flipping the understanding of pain being something to avoid rather than something that's a privilege, right? So this is something, again, that is going to be broken down into further concepts. So let's say these are my four key pillars, right? And as of now, they're all still lumps of clay, as you can tell probably. They're not fully flushed out, right? How do you flush these things out? You break them down into their own pillars, okay? So it's a process of bringing something from its largest point to its bite-sizable pieces, and then from that, splitting it down into an even more manageable size and task and actionable item, then again, right? So I'm not sure how deep this list goes, right? But if we're to take it at least one step further, and this is something I am at least familiar with this level of depth, is, okay, for a community, I need to ask myself, what makes a good community, right? So I can look at something externally, such as, let's say, the church or a sporting club, something that has a strong sense of camaraderie. Obviously, they've got a common goal. They have something that they share with each other, and they understand each other. They share stories, they share positive times and negative times, all of these things. But to really distill it down, and this is what I'm going to do in the subsequent videos, right, on each one of these pillars, right? So a community, what makes a good one, and how am I going to tailor my community to satisfy these criteria? Principles. What are the principles that I have in my life that are going to allow me to go forward and not wipe the slate clean every time something gets tough? If every time I was overwhelmed, I reached for the bottle and was watching horrible, lustful stuff on my phone, I would not be making much progress. My energy would be dispersed everywhere, and I'd be in pain. I'd be in a bad spot. So having a set of boundaries that you don't cross, even when things do get tough, is going to give you the foundation and cement that you need to be able to really make that next step of progress, right? So for me, I will figure out what those 6 principles are. See, I don't know if it's going to be 6, but 6 sounds good. So let's stick with that for now. 6 principles that I use that are going to get me forward, that are going to keep my progress safe and keep me on track to achieving my goals. Vision. What does that even mean? Seriously. How many times people say, use vision? What does that even mean? Yeah, okay, like a wife, 3 kids, like, yeah, I'm going to be loaded. I'm going to, let me break that down and truly say, what is my vision? I know what it is, right? That's a process. And that's something that, can be glossed over and be seen as something, simple. But I think it is very important to be done correctly. And I can't say that I've done it correct so far. So that's something I want to do. Number 4, okay, this is the mental models, etc. Mental models and tools. Okay. So yeah, with this one, I've definitely got a couple. Of mental models and tools. Obviously, I'm on here banging on about this to myself, and I'm obsessed right now with progress and growth and goodness. Okay, so just to give a little bit of insight on the framework that I've adopted right now, and I'll break this down in a bit more detail, is failure is the path to success, right? Reason why I say that is the paradox of, thinking of achieving something is always the opposite, right? So with that being the case, you really need to cement a proactive mindset in getting after those painful, struggling times and understand to not be discouraged by the overwhelming feedback that is telling you stop doing this, right? If it's your friends or your family or your workplace and the results that you're seeing right now all going down to kaplonka, you've got to truly adapt your mindset and connect with the understanding that by failing, you're progressing, and really connecting with that. So having the right mental tools and models that, when you're faced with these challenges, you can not only maintain course, but like I said before, gain energy and have a competitive edge where you get more power the harder things are, is going to put you in a freaking unique spot where progress is inevitable, right? Now, if you stay on track for long enough and you utilize these tools in a way, success is inevitable, right? It's not a thing where we're trying to get a lucky dip. We're not gambling here. We're distilling down all the key principles of success and packaging it in a way that is going to guarantee your success, okay? So, where I'm at right now is understanding that for me to bring my product from 0% complete to 100% complete, it's not by focusing on the name or the this, the that. It's by building as much value into this thing as I can. Now, to do that, I need to break down the key parts of that into its key pillars. Now, right now, I've got that to four different pillars. That could change the more that I understand. Of those 4 pillars, I'm going to break that down into another, let's say, 4 to 5 or 6 different key concepts that need to be hit for that pillar to be a success. Now, of those key pillars, again, the likelihood that a bigger drop down will be required and further efforts, like smaller tasks, are created so I can manage them and I can gain context and I can gain value and really stretch it out, and then start making that slow progress, right? And then before you know it, you've fine-tuned all of the 1% to a point that when you take that step back and you look at the product itself, it's taken that journey from 0 to 100. So that's where we're at, boys. We're making progress. All right. One thing that I'll share with you as well is a conversation that I just had with my friend Zach. Now he's a fellow warrior. He's in the arena himself. He's about to take the plunge and start his own business. We're having a really good conversation, and he's helping me with this, and I'm helping him with his mindset and or whatever we can do to help each other. And we got to this point that really stuck with me, and something that I think is worthy to share, and that was in the concept of internal house cleaning. Now, the overall thing that I'm trying to do here is success, not through a one-dimensional plane of financial success. This might be a bit of a foreign concept, but the eudaimonic ideal, right? And this might have to be a different video again, but the eudaimonic ideal is a philosophy of Aristotle, I believe, and the pursuit of internal growth and self-actualization above all other means, right? So this might be a little bit of a, this might be going on a bit of a tangent, but that's all right. All right, well, I'll just keep it super high level. Internal house cleaning, when you're going out here and you're wanting to achieve things for the right reasons, have a buddy, aka the community that we're going to be creating, that you have trust in, that you can bring your internal darkness to the light, and you can share that, and it's a constant journey. I'm going to cut this little bit because I don't think it's needed, but hopefully you guys got some value out of this video, and I'll be back next week with breaking down one of these pillars. Let's go!